Blog Talk Radio.
Outside the box, freedom at its finest, truth as it is. Hard to accept sometimes, isn't it, folks? Yeah, I know. Well, that's the real test, isn't it? Sort the wheat from the chaff, the we and the truth from the chassis of the dog. Depends on what construct you're worshiping, you know. Where to begin? I haven't been awake that long in terms of, wow. Boy, did I get some sleep. Very quiet around here. Right now, I think I'm the only one here. I'm pretty sure, other than, well, Spaz is outside the cat. And what a drift. What a drift. Anagogic playback of the dream. I won't get into it, but I've got my own researching to do on it, but effectively it was the house of the whore under artillery barrage, and in the basement there was, the fires were lit. The garbage in the basement was lit. I know, I went down and checked on it. It's a beautiful, beautiful drift. Anyway, so many things to talk about. Where to begin? Anyway, well, let's start with calling out the gurus, shall we? I do weary of it. And do weary of these people that know the truth and still refuse to accept it, and as a result of their actions and choosing to be that guru-ish type individual, anyone that gets harmed using their guru remedies or connected to their guru, the gooey-rooey stuff, anyone that gets harmed, that one belongs to the guru, especially the one that knows better. These are the harms you bring upon yourself, the sins you bring upon yourself. We caution everyone very clearly here. You step into the truth in terms of legal name fraud, and that you're not part of it. Quite a matrix in the, if you look at it from the overview, but it's just simply a choice. It is a tiny little choice with huge ramifications, and that is to not be of the bar world. Remember, excuse me, to carry through with what Ninja was sharing yesterday with NameGate. The whole idea, when you look at politicians, the vast majority of them are what? Ex-lawyers, ex-judges. And they're the ones that put the leg irons on people. The leg is lay shun. That's your ley line creation within you, right? The legislation, the leg irons, the legal ease types. That's the leg all consciousness of creation, legalese. This stuff has been deciphered years ago, and again, it boggles my mind as to why some of these brilliantly intellectual people just simply can't see it, and still think there's some form of legal remedy using an illegal name that doesn't belong to them, was never their contract, and they continue to fight, talk about this shit on the air, go and do interviews, and spend a lot of time in jail. And then others around them end up getting harmed as a net result of their bullshit, And Dean, I'm calling you out on this one, asshole. You've been fucking told. You have been fucking told. This one's yours, bitch. All right. For a little update to remind people. I was at the last event that Dean was arrested at. There were 2 prime fucking targets. If you want to talk about those that speak truth and are out in the face of the system, there was myself and Dean speaking at that event. Dean invited me there. So here's two prime fucking targets on the Saturday. Right at the beginning, could have come in and grabbed both of us. Why didn't they? I know why. And those that know the truth know why, because they're in the same position I am. They know they can't be touched. As a matter of fact, we fuck with them just for fun, because we know the powerlessness of the system and the little goonies. Remember, truth prevails, puts the veil over the demon. Truth always prevails. And they can't get past that. That's where they enter the fog of their own war and walk in circles and get dummied. It's like they walk into this invisible shield of, and their mind goes blank. No, they want nothing to do with me and those of us that are getting the word out. We seek no vengeance. We don't need courts to get even. Sorry, that's their world. We don't play in that world. And this is exactly what I'm calling out again and again and again, especially for those that know better. I've talked to Dean about this. Here. This is the shit that literally breaks my heart. When I see people following gurus. You see, the thing is, pay very close attention to those of us that choose to help. And there are many of us that choose to help. We awoke, and, well, for me, over the years, it's been a matter of sorting out what was what, who was who, and who was really helping and who was really hurting. And when I realized I was part of the hurting, it was brought upon myself. It's a very simple thing to see. I'll get into the Petri dish tonight, too. D, you're going to love this one. we're going to take the scale of things down and back up again. So I'm going to show you how to make the slide rule work in the anagogic. Anyway, getting back to, I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this. This is something that we've regurgitated time and time again. For those that are out preaching any form of legal remedy, are still fighting within and against the system in the most literal sense, you're doomed if you do that. You're judged. And a little message came in, and regardless of where it came from, it doesn't matter. I keep that to myself anyway, and it's simply about the truth, so I leave the personalities out of it. The only personalities I bring into it are the ones that are out front and are a focused personality that is harming others. All right? There was a young lady, Teresa Harrison, who was Dean's biggest supporter with helping him get out of jail, which she didn't do anything of the sort. You know, she might have the illusion of it, the illusion of a, quote, legal victory. There are no legal victories except leaving the legal world, period. She was arrested on Friday night, April 18th, kidnapped by the remote control monkey puppets. You might call them RCMP. I just call them what they are, remote control monkey puppets. No search warrant. They don't need one. Why would they need a search warrant to grab their own shit? You use a legal name, you're Crown property. Fuck off. End of. Bye. That's a legal fact. Easy to prove. Did you build the body you're walking around in? Nope. Did you name it? Nope. So the birth certificate has nothing to do with you, does it? Nope. So you're a third-party interloper on a contract that has nothing to do with you, right? Yep. Then you're agreeing to be Crown property because you're interloping on a contract that has nothing to do with you. That's between mom, dad, and the meat stick. Nothing to do with you. Don't confuse yourself as a meat stick, by the way. Okay, there's two worlds here, physical and spiritual. Which one do you live in? Right, okay. It's a very simple thing. Yeah, of course they broke into Crown property. You might call it her house, but it's not. If it's registered, it's Crown property. Into her house, apparently smashed against her car, which, no, it wasn't hers. It's Crown property. Manitoba, which is Crown property. We need to get the word out. We've been doing this for years, love. Another false arrest. No, it was. That's a perfectly legitimate legal arrest. That's called belligerence, the act of belligerence. Occupying forces, if you want to see the anagogic breakdowns of these things, spend a bit of time on the Law of Nations, Emmerich's work from the 1700s. It's a beautiful layout of natural law as it's presented in the legal sense of things. I talked about this years ago. That was one of the things that opened up all these doors for me in terms of seeing natural law being mimicked by man-made bullshit, okay? Yeah, another false arrest. No, it's not a false arrest. And let's see what we can do to help her. Yeah, absolutely. And let me see. Regardless of the intent of the individual, I understand that Teresa is... I understand that, we've all been in that position of you've had enough of the system and the lies and the bullshit and the cheating and on and on and on. Yes, I know you have. I get that. If you want the answer, it's easy. Get out of her, my children. Get out of Babylon. Remove the mark of the beast, legal carbon footprint. 666, Inc. Now, we can go way, way beyond this. I want to keep it real simple tonight for any newer people coming in here. Okay, this is a very simple thing, and we can go in directions that will melt your mind to show you the magic of what truth is. Well, I'll keep it simple tonight. There's a couple of little tricks we have. They're not tricks at all. They're decoding rings. Phonics is the big one. Remove the doubt. Figure it out. It's really, really simple. And of course, you had a child there. Yeah, well, is the child registered? Did she surrender that meat stick to the Crown? It's a devious trap, guys. And the politicians are merely transplanted lawyers. And when one uses a legal name illegally to illegally vote an illegal individual into an illegal position of power using a legal trick, it's all illegal. It's a simple game. Legal name is illegal to use. It's not yours. You didn't get permission. The contract had nothing to do with you. Mom and dad registered, mom and dad named, mom and dad sold. Now, your agreement to your mom and dad, honor thy mother and thy father, the demon body worship? No. No, the true heart and the true source of creation, the true father, which is feminine, and the true mother, which is masculine. The modus operandi of creation through the father, the heart of all that is. It's all been flipped upside down and backwards, guys. Someone took this petri dish and fucking swung it around. You want to talk about cultures in a Jew-Peter dish? Yeah, we'll get into that one too. But anyway, yeah, that's a standard protocol. Grab somebody on a Friday and let them rot it out over the weekend. You know, it's normal, just going down here. A no-knock warrant, they don't need to knock on doors they own. So I just simply put my answer is this. It's called illegal use of a legal name, and Dean gets another one in the net for them. It's called rounding up criminals who use legal names and legal commerce without a bar card. It's legal name fraud. Google it or get rounded up like the rest of the dopies. And sure, didn't we fucking tell them? All of us told them. Face plant, face plant, face plant. Guys, do you want to be free? That's the only question you have to ask yourself. And you'll be caught between the proverbial rock and a hard place. Well, Kate, what do I do without a legal name? I can't. Yeah. What do you do? Well, I'll tell you what you have to learn to do. And we've been out of practice for a while. It's called trust creation. And the moment you do, the magic steps in. Creation has you. Truth prevails, all evil around you. It's a simple thing. And all you need to do is get the word out to others. It's illegal to use a legal name. That's a legal fact. So anyone that wants to, contest anything in a legal sense, well, let's go back to that basis, that ultimate basis of truth, that it is in fact illegal to use a legal name or anything in the commerce legal world without a bar card. Do you have one? Likely not. However, humanity has been gifted with that. It was gifted, last July, I guess? It was something like that? Jane Doe-755. Now, what that was is the, the anagogic removal of the, we don't have a means to ever go into a court to say something. Well, actually we do, but we don't because we don't need to. It's just knowing that we do. It's like this, the nuclear deterrent concept. Well, I have a red button. I can push a button and blow you to kingdom come. But I won't. 'Tis enough that you know I have the red button. Jane Doe-755. Because they know that when that button is pushed, they lose. They don't play there. They won't play there. They leave you the fuck alone. That's what you're after, right? You see, and the only connection anyone can get to anything that you perceive as being yours legally, well, that's my house, it's legally registered. That's my car and truck and business. It's children, they're all legally registered. Well, if they're legally registered, then you have a legally registered something. And it belongs to the crown. You're walking around with dirty hands, Pontius. Time to wash them. Time to be your own pilot. Watched a movie last night. It was hilarious. Yeah, the movie, it just came out. The download of it's a bit sketchy at points. It's a low. I wouldn't call it low. It's definitely let's say a movie you download would be like 1.5 gigabytes. This one's like I think 350 megabytes. So, but you see, the movie's there. There's a couple of little spots in it that get sketchy and whatever, but I don't care about that. I tell you, the movie's called Good Kill. Ethan Hawke. And I got to tell you, if you can't see the anagogic magic in that one, you got issues. It's hilarious. Anyway, it tells the truth straight up. It's about drone pilots, based on true events. Funny that, isn't it? Yeah, this veil is dropping worldwide, guys, and just stay on track with it, would you? Please, just stay on track. So anyway, yeah, Dean, that one's yours, baby. Any harm that came to Teresa as a result of what you taught her and what you were insisting she do and all the rest of it, any harm that has come to her is on your shoulders. That's your sin, my love. As I've told you, you turn around now and you start telling the truth. It is illegal to use a legal name in any way, shape, or form. Because if you don't, then by your actions you are known. And you have been told this many times. As I said the other day, I was invited by Angela Stark to come on because Dean was on with her and someone else had listened to it, and of course I knew what it was going to be. I don't get into these debates. Dean Clifford knows this truth. Why he doesn't act in this truth? Well, that's going to be up to him, isn't it? But I know that when someone isn't acting in truth, then they're not acting in truth. So I push that to one side. One that will not stand in truth is one who stands in evil. Lies. It's not a gray area here, kids. There's no need to observe from a, well, you know, it's because I don't give a fuck what the excuse is. Because there are none. Not in my reality. There are no excuses to allow harm of another. Can you find one? If you can, then you're at the wrong table. If you can find a reason to harm someone, then you are at the wrong table. Because that's the whole thing that I've been doing within me, to sort out the little vengeances that might be within me, to remove those vengeances, to see the lesson within myself, to let the motherfucker go. Get it? Or are you going to hang on to that and stay caught in a time trap, space and time, caught in a vengeance, a little knit in your hair, a little gnat in your air? Well, I guess it depends on what you want to inherit. You are the heir. It's up to you. It's a very simple thing. I can go across a lot of different ways of showing you how illegal any use of a legal name or anything in the legal construct is, in fact, deliberately set up as a catch-22 to make sure that you will be doing everything illegal. Can you not understand that? If I can trick you into doing something that fucks you over every time, and you get fucked over every time, and then I tell you why you're getting fucked over every time, if you continue to get fucked over every time, whose fault is that? Legal name will get you fucked over every time. It's illegal to use one. And once you know this, there is no further contract or connection to anything that may have ever been registered through you through any choice, because it was a fraud ab initio since before it began. There was an intent to deceive before the contract. The hidden intent of the mind of the one that chose to deceive comes long before a piece of paper or a word is uttered. That's where this goes back to. You catch the demon in the thought of it. Might seem like a very heady concept, but it's not really. Have you never thought of something before you did it, and then did it? Have you ever thought of doing something you knew to be wrong and did it anyway? Oh, yeah. Me, countless times. Depends how honest you are with yourself, though. It really does depend on how honest you are with yourself. If you can't be honest with yourself, what makes you think you're going to be honest with me? What makes me think that? Well, if you can't be honest with yourself, I know that you're not going to be honest with me. So I just leave it there. There's no gray area in that, you see. It's black and white as far as I can tell. You're either a criminal or you're not. You're either a legal name worshiper or you're not. You're either a carbon 666 meat stick paper doll beast or you're not. This is not rocket science. Yeah, it is very typical, isn't it, Ninj? This is exactly what we've been doing here for a very long time. Get out of her, my children, was the something along those lines in the quote. Get out of Babylon. Yes, it is this easy and this hard at the same time. It is so mind-numbingly easy, you will not believe it. It took me a while. So don't worry, you get a mulligan on that one. I get it. We're not hard-nosed here. We're really not. You know, there's a lot of leniency and leeway for those that are. We understand it's a rude awakening, but it's one that you need to experience, or you go down with the demons. It's up to you. You have to decide what scares you more. What scale are you on? You know, scale, scare, right for left, left for right. And this game is all about scale. It's all about scare. That's it. I just don't have time for liars. I don't. And, well, can you blame me? Do you have time for liars? Yeah, I feel the same way. I don't either. I just made a very big point of calling out the lies, first within myself, to find out what is it that I am doing that is fucking my life over. Oh, it was me. Yes, it was. This is the game of finding out who you are, to truly know thyself. In as much as you can look at the demons as being evil, they're doing a good thing. I see both sides of the coin at the same time. I see the trapping of the demon, where some have to actually play the role. Remember, the deceivers are everywhere. We have them too. Those that deceive the demons. Just to make sure that the demons are marked. The demon must have a legal name. That's the mark of the beast. This is the separation of the wheat and the chaff. Those that are legal namers and dead demons knowingly get, well, what happens to chaff? It gets pushed to the side. Now, the innocent and the ignorant within that mass of legal name gets pulled out. For me, they're neutrals. They don't know any better. You know the saying, forgive them for they don't know what they do thing. The middle ground. And then there are those of us that get the word out, that know who we are, that are working on this side of things, as opposed to being in the ones trying to keep humanity enslaved, the ones that knowingly do this harm and actually lust after it. Yes, the deceivers are everywhere, and that's not just on the evil side of things. So I don't play the game of who's who and have an opinion on that. I play the game of who's who by observation. And it always comes back to me. What is my feeling on it? A neat little trick that we have as well is called the double cross. Is to see the good as evil and the evil as good, in as much as you see the good as good and evil as evil at the same time. You must get both sides of the equation, both sides of the coin balanced in order to walk the middle. When one can get neutral on this, it thoroughly disgusts me, the degradation and the hate and the harm and the evil on this planet. It thoroughly disgusts me. I have maintained my neutrality on it. I keep that rage to myself. That would be an external judgment. I just make it known that evil, pisses me off. And that's it. And evil will, by definition, destroy itself. I merely do what I do in the truth to watch evil literally destroy itself. Same way that money can be looked at as good or evil, good and evil. The to be or not to be and not to be at the same time. How is that possible, Kate? Well, let me tell you how that's easily possible. If one is worshiping money and getting lots of money to control things around them, people and properties and all the rest of it, that is an evil intent using the literal soul of creation, built off the soul of the child, i.e. you, through the birth certificate, third-party interloping contract deception that mom and dad were ignorant of, that you were ignorant of, but you're not ignorant anymore, and that's the problem with truth. Once you hear it, yeah, that's a bit of a disclaimer that we typically have. If you show up at this table, you're going to hear things that are going to make you completely responsible for your own actions. Too late to turn back now. You've already heard that it's illegal to use a legal name. Best look into that now, because it is. So how do we turn this money into something good? Well, it's easy, excuse me. Since it was literally created off the souls of children, myself being one of those children, life itself, then as one of those children of life itself, any of that money now becomes checks that Lucifer can't cash. They're signed, typically, they got 2 signatures on them. They're signed government checks from Lucifer. So I use those government checks and put those back into circulation, and these are checks that Lucifer can't cash. In case you're wondering why the system is so afraid of cash. It's got nothing to, well, it has something to do with the black market aspect of not being able to tax stuff, but that's just smoke and mirrors. I know exactly why. Because this is where the debt, the guilt, and all the rest of the poisonous bullshit goes back upon the false Jew, the fallen one, the Gentile, the genetic entity. Funny, I was watching the legions, the missing legions, 17, 18, and 19, really resonated with August because it was Augustus Caesar at the time that Varus was destroyed in the German forest across the Rhine. Huge anagogic in that. Won't even get into that tonight because I know we got some newer people coming in. Lots of newer people. We'll get to magic. Excuse me. Get back to the magic stuff maybe a bit later. But let's keep it real for those that are still, in a very literal sense, trapped in the literal world. They still think they're meat sticks. They still think they're, I have to survive and yeah, whatever. Don't worry, it gets better from here. It really does. This is your test to see if you can once and for all stand in truth. And if you can't, well, God help you. Truth help you. Anyway. So money for me is both good and evil, good or evil. The only thing that changes the good and good or is you. So I see evil simply as what evil is, and everything I do is strictly and solely designed within me to make sure that evil just destroys itself. There's no vengeance there. It's not rocket science. And I think that's a good idea. Let's get roaring here. And for those that want to jump in tonight, I do urge any newer people that don't be afraid of me. I kind of have a reputation, I know, but that's not because I hate you. It's because I love you, and I have a reputation as a dragon slayer. So the dragons I slay are simply the lies that get attached to us, and people take that shit real personal, eh, Roar?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny. It's funny to watch, though, eh?
Well, anything that you take personal, well, that's personal. That's you.
Yeah, you got to. That's it. If you have a personal reaction to me, that's because that's something in you that you need to look at. We know that. Like those of us that, oh yeah, I get that. That's a big one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that urge to debate, that's not you. That's the demon in you trying to keep you blindsided.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. The meat stick is Lucifer's reality, guys. It's all guys on guys here. That is so profoundly simple. Just to give you a little insight into this dream, it was this mansion that I was in, and I recognized it. It was a composite of a few places I had worked in. As a general contractor, master carpenter, I had a very elite clientele. My reputation preceded me, and I was asked to do the very high-level work. So I did. And it's always fun to have a set of paintbrushes, really with no limitations as to what you can paint. It's entirely up to the ones paying the bill. But I got to tell you, early on, one of these jobs, I redid the same bathroom 3 times. I had to replumb it 3 times. The first time to move the bathtub where she originally wanted it, got all the flooring back down, didn't put any of the tile and stuff. I had just done the basic layout of where it was, and of course, the owner, let's just say she was the parasite of the money. Oh yeah, she wasn't the source of the money; she was the parasite of it. She loved spending her hubby's money. Oh yeah, big time. Anyway. She goes into the bathroom. I'm going to show you how insane this is, and this I want to give you this information to set you up with the energy of what this dream represented to me. This is why I'm doing this. So I got this all laid out, and there's the bathtub over against the window where she wanted it. The toilet was moving a toilet on a second floor building. It's not that's not an easy thing to do because you got rafters to deal with and directionals, and you can't just go sawing through joists and shit to change directions. Okay, so you're very limited in your choices. So anyway, I got everything replumbed, everything moved around, and then she said, "Oh, well, tell you what. The toilet can't move because it's where it's going to be, and I like where it is. But the bathtub, can you put it over against this window instead?" And of course, it's very easy to go, "Can you move the tub from there 3 feet over to there?" And while it looks easy on the floor surface, little old me knows the grid under the plywood. And of course, the face plant. Sure I can. It's going to take another week and a half to replumb this all again. Oh, okay. All right. Whatever. So I replumbed it. Moved the bathtub over. I had to cut up more of the floor and, jigsaw piece this and that and reroute everything over on the floor to there. Week and a half later, comes back in, said, "Okay, there's where the tub's going to be," and we moved stuff around so she could see it and whatever. She couldn't have just done that and decided at the moment where the plumbing already was. And she said, "No, I liked it better where it was the first time. Put it back." Okay. Well, it was a little quicker this time. It was only a few days because I'd already had the plumbing rerouted. But it was almost a week anyway because, draining lines and replumbing, hot and cold feeds and remounting for shower and stuff. It takes a bit of time. But there we were. There's an example of just sheer wanton waste because someone can point a finger, has the money to do it. And, for me, it wasn't about the money. Yeah, making a living is one thing. But I'll tell you, it was ridiculous because there's almost 3 weeks' wages wasted on a whim. And I had people say, "Well, you're making money. That's not what it's about. It's about wasting time, doing the same job over and over and over again." Because somebody has the ability to wave some money around. I'm not interested in that power. I'm interested in doing a good job. Can you be a little more decisive with that money instead of wasting it? And that was it. So here's this dream of this. The layout was very similar to the second big, and I'm not talking monster, we're talking 9,000 square foot house, okay? So it's not a small building, okay? It's a big place. So anyway, it was like the whore of Babylon herself, this craggy old bitch trying to lure me in to all the goodies here and there, and I'm like, fuck you, I'm out of here, right? And while I was in that house prior to this, you'll never guess what happened. There was an artillery barrage on the house. Shit was falling in everywhere. So I'm like, what am I doing here? Oh, it's just some people they don't like us, and they're, you know, and it was like nothing was going on, and here's shit dropping out, like bricks falling, and I'm fucking out of here. So I ended up going down into the lower basement area of this, or whatever it was, and there was like this furnace room, but it had boxes and garbage and you name it was in this like compactor that was crushed, and it was on fire. It had just started to go on fire. So I saw that as the furnace of hell just lighting up. Anyway, there's a lot more to it. Just a beautiful drift. And here's a neat part about drifting like this. I said we wouldn't get outside the box here too much, but I guess so, whatever. But anyway, here's the neat anagogy about this. While I'm drifting, I'm fully aware that I'm there. Some people call it lucid dreaming. I don't call it that at all. I call it just being awake while you're there, because time is non-existent with me. I exist in all points of now, whether awake or asleep. It doesn't matter, and it's taken a bit of practice to get that back. But you know, as quiet as it was here today, I woke up at 5:30. Like I was drifting for probably about 2 hours. And I had no idea what time it was, and I hang around. When I say drifting, what I'm talking about is between waking fully and sleeping fully. It's you know, I've learned how to, and many others can do this now. It's called meditation in the purest form, and I can hold myself in that state of mind knowingly. So I stay there and drift between the worlds to see what is there and the things that get deciphered. It's crazy fun, and things start to make sense. The only thing that you need, guys, anyone that's new here, the only thing you need to focus on right now to find out who you are, because you don't know who you are if you think you're a legal name. You just need to drill this little fact into your noggins once and for all, and breathe after you knock this into your little noggins. Okay, it is illegal to use a legal name. Anything that you do in the legal world is illegal. You are an insta-criminal in the eyes of the system and will be treated as such. As soon as you do not play in their world, a beautiful, literal magic shield comes up, and I mean that in its most literal form. Nothing touches you, but you must be free of that trap. Vengeance will keep you in that trap. Is that fairly straight up, Roar? That's kind of right on the level there?
That's, yeah, makes sense. I'm there.
Yeah, that's the thing about
it. You get tested, and those the emotion or the reactions will come up. But what I was unable to do is, I guess you would call that fluffy. Tell it to go take a hike.
Yeah.
You know, just turn that off. It's
and we
for me now.
Well, we caution people up front. To the degree that you are set free, you will be brushed with a feather. You will be tested. True or false? Have we given people the heads up on this?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You're going to be tested either way. That's a fact. You're going to be tested whether you are trying to play in their dead world legal remedy, sir reality, yes sir, no sir reality, or the truth. Which one are you going to choose? I assure you, the truth one, although it may feel uncomfortable at times, might go on for lengthy periods, you may get hurt a little here and there, but that's because you're standing in truth, not because you're standing in some legal remedy. And the simple truth is, had Dean Clifford listened to what I was telling him back then, they would never have grabbed him on the Sunday either, but he was too busy trying to sell legal remedy and keep people trapped in the legalese thinking. That's why he got grabbed. And I also cautioned when he got out, you persist on this one, Dean, and people get hurt. TikTok. Did I not say that while he was in, guys? Did I not say that? Yeah, I did.
Yep.
So you're cautioned. That which you cause another to be at effect to due to you being worshipped as some guru or something, well, that is your minion. That is yours. And you take that harm upon you. And why I caution you, in the truth, inasmuch as I walk in it, have been tested by it very thoroughly, I caution you. You will be tested, regardless. You're going to be tested, regardless. You will be tested to see if you are a liar or one who is walking in truth. And you will find now that when you walk in truth, those tests are inconsequential. They'll sound something like this. Someone standing outside there, and true story. Adam, I'll share your story. It's hilarious. Anyway, Adam, like myself, has a set of wheels, non-registered, plates, expired plates, VINs ripped out, knows who he is. He's over at a coffee shop and comes outside, and there's a cop walking towards the car. So he lights up a smoke. Hey, how's it going? Hey, good. Cop takes a walk around, looks at the car and said, diesel? Yeah. Well, what year is it? Oh, I don't know. 2000, 2001, I don't know. Oh, okay. And the cop just, oh, okay. Walked away. And the cop was in a stupor. Didn't know. You see, that's the thing is the cops know they have to approach you, but they don't know why they can't touch you, and they don't know why they. This is what happens. The fog of war goes into the demon. The truth prevails them, and it's very reminiscent of the scene where Cheech and Chong are getting pulled over by a cop as their van's on fire, and the cop's breathing in all the pot smoke, getting high. And it goes from, I'm going to write you a ticket, hey, to, are you going to eat the rest of that hot dog, man? That's the same effect. That's what truth has. It's hilarious. Yeah, so cop just walked away. I loved how when he was telling me the story, I said, oh, my God, yeah, that's so Cheech and Chong. And that's exactly what happens. So there's when you know who you are, and that's someone that stepped right into it, that stepped right into, yes, I see this, I see this, I see this, I don't want no more part of it, and it was basically a rip and strip rape of all plastic, every concept, every idea. Remember, it's not about the paper, it's not about the plastic, it's about the idea. The id-ia, the id entity, id entification, the id, the ego, ia, which is ya, yin. There's your D, there's your yaw and key, Yankee, dude, L, dandy. Of course, when I see the dandy, I think of Dennis the Menace, right? It's a cartoon comic book in the UK, the dandy. Dennis the Menace. King Menace. King Means. King Narmer. The Scorpion King, Narmer palette. We can connect comic books to Egypt. We can connect everything to everything. That's what we do here. And then you see the joke of it all, and you just laugh, and you just get the word out. That's all it is. It's illegal to use a legal name. Anyway, just wanted to, bring that in. So, 360. Mics are open, guys. Come on in. Let's dance this dance, shall we?
Well, I've played with the Revelation 7:11, and it worked out perfectly with the name gate. Going back to this, the beast who once was and now is not, is an eighth king. and he belongs to the 7. That would
the
papal admiralty is the 7. That's how I looked at it, and so the popes have to be elected. So this goes back to the first authority over man, like the doctrine of original sin, making you believe that there's authority outside of you. That's just a dogma.
Hey,
and so
Roy.
I just equated it with the enemy at the 8th main gate.
Yeah. Hey, Roar, did you ever imagine a time that you would sound this brilliantly intellectual?
Well, I just wanted to. It was,
and how?
You know what? It was the will be was. That's what clicked with me.
The now moment thing? Oh, that was one of the drifts. Wait, check this shit out. The will be was. What Roar is referring to. And by the way, you look like a fucking genius when you figure this out. It's so easy. Yet when you talk about it, you sound like this. Wow. There's someone. Yeah, it's hilarious. It is so anti-intellectual. Yet you sound so intellectual. It's crazy. But anyway, the will be was is simply the now moment. You see, when you base something off a past experience while you're still living in it, and you bring that into your now and have a future plan about it. I'll give you an example. A court date. A court date will keep you in the will be was. Well, I guess I went too fast, will be going to court, right? So you're trapped in between in a contract. So the contract is hanging in the air until it's complete. And that's exactly what that's what evil does. It keeps you hanging in your contracts, keeps you as the hanged man, the 12th card on the tarot, never making 13, which is death, which is change. And you have to literally die here in the physical sense without, hey, look, I'm still talking, but I have died in the physical sense. It's really cool. Will be was. Yeah, so get in your now. Don't have any contracts hanging out anywhere. I don't have any contracts. I'm here right now. Tell you what I'm going to contract with. I'll keep breathing to be able to talk. That one kind of works. Sort of comes natural. So I stick with the natural contracts. Another natural contract to fulfill is got to go pee. Go fulfill the contract. You'll feel better when the contract's complete, won't you? That's what we do here on the grandest sense. The legal name is done. End of contract. Because it was never yours, it was never mine to begin with. I'm listening to you as you're talking about the 7th and the 8th, and I'm going, oh yeah, this one's going way over people's heads, but I know exactly what you're saying. And it's not as literal as you think, people. It's pure magic. You guys are so smart. I love it. Bet you didn't think you were Mensis Society. Mensis? Menace? Menace Society? Yeah. Just a coincidence.
Yeah, right? We're a menace, all right. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I had so many things I wanted to talk about. The overlapping, anytime I see July, August, September, October dates, I overlap them. Wow. So if not, well, what do you mean, Kate? Well, it's like this. September is 7. October is 8. 7, 8, right? So that's the 7th month and the 8th month. And then you have the July and the August, Gog, Magog, use in the lie, ust, used. Yeah, the Aug used. July and August. Okay? We're overlaid into the map of the calendar, the Kali-ender. See, what they're doing is they're constantly re-rolling the same shit out of time. 2 months. 61 days. D. Washimoto, pay up on this one. Check this out. July 31st is October 1st. Why is that? Well, because September doesn't have 31 days. It's a missing day. Ring a bell? July 25th, maybe? Seventh son of a seventh son, 7/7. Yeah, so what I've been doing historically, it is hysterical, because I see the overlaps in the and by the way, guys, this, you don't have to try to do this; it just happens. That's the hard part to explain to people. You just go, ah, you don't know what it was, but you go, ah, got it, and you put a smile on your face. You don't know why, but you know why, but you don't know why. It's kind of hard to describe. Oh yeah, it's no wonder we didn't find this for a long time. Yeah, I'd love to get into the petri dish side of things. Have a look at the cultures around the world. The germ mans and the row mans. Jesus Christ. And this, I haven't even had time. You know, like I said, I literally went out and checked the clock. It was 5:30. It was so quiet here. I got into such a deep, peaceful sleep. There was not a sound. I can always tell because there's no static in the lucidness. So yeah, it was beautiful. I don't get many days like that. So, wow. Come on, we got 2 mics.
The bliss time.
Oh yeah. Here's the thing: you don't have to get up for school anymore, because you know when you get up for school, you're at school, so there's no fucking hurry. You never leave school and you go back to bed whenever you feel like it, because you don't have to get up for school, because you know you're at school anyway. It's a will be was zeroed out. It's fucking hilarious. Just stay on the truth. That's it. Just stay on the truth. Yeah. Oh, I got to tell you, though, I see things come up with someone getting hurt because of some guru's bullshit, be it a known shill murderer Jesuit like Kevin Annett, or someone that knows better like Dean Clifford or Santo Bonacci, or any of these people that know this truth and are still refusing to put it out there. It's because they can't stand in it themselves. They can't stand the truth because they can't stand in the truth. They obviously can't stand it because they can't stand in it, especially after they've been told. So, you see, that's where I wash my hands of you, Dean. You've been told. Now, like, sure, didn't I tell you? And if you can't handle that, that's nothing to do with me. I sorted it out within me. And again, this is a no harm, no foul. I have nothing personal against anyone or anything out there. What I do have is a penchant to destroy evil when I see it, in any form or shape that it takes, with whatever face is on the meat stick, be it demon or one who is of source itself. By your actions, I will know you. You change direction, I'll notice. Just like, oh, look, have a look at the 1588 Armada. Who led that up? Well, the head of the dragons, the Drake. How did they destroy the Spanish Armada? With fire. So it was dragon fire. I was watching the fractal of the dragon destroy the Armada, the crescent moon formation of the Spanish Armada. And again, I see these from a spiritual perspective of what are the shapes and the sounds representing. And again, it was the fire of the dragon that destroyed the evil that wanted to invade. And you become your own Sir Francis Drake. Drake had dragon. Male dragon. Shall we get into the dogs of this as well? Yeah, Yankee Doodle Dane die. It's about, everyone notices it's about the Dutch and the Danes a lot. Great Danes, double Dutch. Depends on what dog you're skipping with. Oh yeah, I did say I wasn't going to dance too much tonight, so that was a bit of a dance. Sorry about that. It's just what I do. And for those that get it, it's fun, isn't it? Anyway, the only important thing anyone that is relatively new here needs to understand is it's illegal to use a legal name. As soon as you figure that out, don't worry. There's a wondrous awakening awaiting you. You're the only one holding it back. So don't cry to me, because I told you, and many others will tell you the same thing. You will experience the bliss of what bliss is once you understand who and what you truly are. And you're not a meat stick, you're not a carbon 666 beast, physical form, nor are you a carbon footprint on a, birth document where the carbon footprint is put on the paper of the baby to make sure that your carbon footprint is on their world. The first thing that the physical body touches is their paper before it sets foot on the earth. The paper comes between you, and the physical you, and the physical earth. Yeah, and you might want to get away from that earth-worshipping shit that you're on to. It's a petri dish. You're being cultured in a petri dish. Oh, did that just get fractally large and small at the same time for you? Well, Jew Peter, Jew Petri, you Petri. Petri? Well, what's a P? Well, it's a duality with one hanging down. Ever notice that? It's a D with a dick. Half the hole. Kind of hanging low, aren't you, Lou? Oh, yeah. Oh, the symbology is hilarious. Yet you'll have these people talking about, that's an Illuminati corporation. And like, yeah, that's a surface dweller for you. They live on the surface of things. They don't dig into it. We dug into the petri dish. We created our own cultures. Oh, yeah. Yeah, it almost feels like you're in a refrigerator, a freezer, doesn't it? Kind of in a tray, if you will. Little petri dish here, one over here, and, checking the cultures. How big are you? Do you know how big you are? How small are you? Do you know how small you are? Well, I guess you're the one that decides how big and small you are at the same time. I just simply look at the infinite large, infinite small at the same time and see where I am somewhere in between. Have a look at the lab. 12 Monkeys is all about, stopping the virus, right? Have a look at the bad cultures across the petri dish. You might call it Earth. The dish, the flat, the dish ran away with a spoon kind of thing. What happens if a virus gets out of the lab? That's what happened. Time to move on here. Yeah, I just kind of fractaling inside right now. Just give me a minute. Yeah, it was a good drift. Well, watching the germ mans and the row mans in the battle, in the forest, how it happened in the bottleneck and all the rest of it. It's the picture's getting clearer and clearer and clearer. But you'll never even begin to see this picture until you understand that you're not a legal name. To be that, you are of the bad culture in the dish. And that shit gets scraped away, remember? Yeah, only the good result of the dish comes out. So think of this as an intergalactic or universal CDC. Atlanta, Georgia, genetic entity ogre, IA. Is that a coincidence? Atlanta, Georgia, CDC, Center for Disease Control. Something to look at. Oh yeah, there's a glass lid on this petri dish. You see a few of the airborne viruses trying to get out, but they can't because they hit the dish lid. Have you noticed? You might call that the lid over the world. It only goes up so far. Interesting visual, isn't it? Envision all of Earth in a petri dish with a lid over it. And of course, the airborne viruses aren't allowed to escape. The bad cultures aren't allowed to escape here. What happens when a disease gets out of control? What do they do to the room? They torch it. Yeah. Did you see the lab? Doctor? Oh, yeah. There's another fractal for you, huh? There's one you didn't look at. Me either. Kind of drifted in, I thought. Well, I looked at the Petri dish thing probably about... this is going back many years ago. This thought had crossed my mind before about humanity being in a Petri dish. You know, I've watched Twilight Zone and shit as a kid, right? I always had a vivid imagination to go, wow, something about that felt true. Let's have a look at it again. So that's all I do now is I look at all the things that felt true as a kid and I just re-expand on them now that I'm a big kid. And lo and behold, these beautiful things come out. It's not difficult to imagine that, is it? You can see the bad germs and the good germs, can't you?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, talk about being in the Center for Disease Control. Talk about being dead center in the lab. Talk about being the very experiment itself. Yeah. Might make sense. Might make sense of a few other things, you know. That's okay. You'll be fine, guys. Just chill out. It's illegal to use a legal name. Just figure that shit out, and you'll figure the rest out from there. And it really is easy. When you see all these little germs, cultures running around going, yeah, well, again, are you part of the disease or are you the cure? We're the cure. We're the T cells. We're the ones that hold that virus at bay. We're self-contained, not of the virus. You cannot be infected by it. It's sort of like the characters in 12 Monkeys that escaped. They were immune to it somehow. And of course, those that weren't immune to it, it's very simple to play the, let's change the clock thing to keep it getting overlooked. No more overlooking this one. Well, it was in the Center for Disease Control manual. You'll call it a Bible. You call it a dandy comic book. I don't care. You can call it a history book. It's all in the manual. To man you all.
Yeah, Emmanuel. Let's take a look at that.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Pretty messy, Messiah? Messy, Yeah. You gotta clean up your own Center for Disease Control, kids. You're it. You're the bug. You're the ghost in the machine. You're the virus or not. You either are the destroying virus or the healer, the truth virus or the lie. I went with the cure, thanks. Yeah, it's quite something. How does this play out? Don't know, but it's getting real interesting, isn't it? Yeah, what's the latest on the garbage can? I'd laugh at that one. Yeah, U.S. underground tunnel map. Wow, check this out. Oh, they've been burrowing into the Petri dish for a long time. Oh, don't worry. When they torch the place, it all goes up. Texas is preparing to be invaded. Exclusive footage inside closed Walmart in California. Cops guard dock and blah, blah, blah. Yeah. Jade Helm anagram deciphered. We're all screwed. Steve Quayle. Bugging out. Bugging out? Bug? Yeah, okay. Over 100 trillion in wealth will disappear. Oh, my God, this is so funny. World War III narrowly averted. Simon Park's interview. Yeah, I've talked to Simon Parks. Zetas say Walmart being retrofitted to be FEMA disaster. They weren't retrofitted. They were built that way, stupid. Blood moons. Startling new information. It's not so, well, we knew, but it's not so new anymore. When we thought we knew it all. Yeah. Oh, by the way, 112 uses for baking soda from World War II. You didn't know. One of the greatest uses of baking soda is to what? Put fires out. Oil fires on a stove. So we use baking soda to put the oil fires out within, you see. All of this plays out in a fractal. It's funny. One thing is within another. They're all the same. We just found the domino, that's all. Should I run up huge debts before the crash? Well, if you don't feel you have enough debt already, sure, why not? It's kind of stupid, but whatever. The Jade Helm invasion of America neighborhoods has begun. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Jade, beautiful green, isn't it? Jaded point of view, one that is not quite pure. Funny that. One is a beautiful gem and one is an impure thing. Good and evil, you see? Helm? Well, something you steer your ship from. I went with the Hermes, not the Helmies. They like their helmets, don't they? Helmeets. That's to protect their meat sticks. Helmets? All sorts of insignia on those, too. This is why I love tracking the things that I have researched throughout my entire life that always fascinated me. But what I do now with it is, because of all this that I have looked at, I can put them into small boxes, little compartments of time called alpha-omega moments. War began September 1st, 1939, ended blah, 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 right? So that's a fractal of time. And everything within that fractal is everything within time itself. Just a smaller way of looking at it. So I expand it into all that is and crush it into all that is not. It's a simple thing. I track trigger moments to align my own calendar. Removing the JA, J-A, July and August, what happens is the slide rule, the 7 and 8 go back into where they're supposed to be. So when you see things that correlate on September 7th and July 7th, they're the same thing. Go and have a look. You'd be amazed. Wait a minute. It's the same story played over in a different way on the same day. It's funny how it works out. Anyway, that's what I'm doing now, is tracking the 61, 62 days, with the one missing day being September 31st, which would be October 1st, as it correlates to my solar birthday, October 1st, 64. So I see these things as why they're relevant. For those that don't know what a solar calendar is versus this loony bin calendar you've been programmed with, we put together the 10-month solar calendar, removing the Julius and Augustus Caesar out of the Black Forest, if you will. And the year runs in perfect order now. January, February, March, April, May, June, September, October, November, December. So a correlating date in July or August is the correlating date in September, October for those that want to seek their solar birth date. Remember how back when I was doing this, how to figure out how do we get the people born in July and August into this? There it is. So now you have your correlating dates to do your solar calendars with. For those that are, in July and August birthdays, your birthdays are actually in September and October. Solar. Loony, actually, then you can find your solar from there. So there's how to use the slide rule of time. Neat, huh?
Love it.
Yeah, it only took what? When did we do the solar calendar? November, December? So that's not bad. I mean, because that was a real stickler with me, and it hadn't fully come into view. Oh, it came into view all right. July and August don't exist. They're the overlaps that keep this time thing overlapping itself.
Hey, render unto Caesar that which is Caesar's.
July and August are yours, bitch.
Bye.
Pretty straight up, isn't it? Anybody else having fun here? I'm having a great time.
Having a great time.
Come on in, guys. All you got to do is hit 1 on the dial pad, 360. I've got your mic open. For anyone who wants to jump in, just hit 1 on the dial pad. And I'd love to hear from newer people. Don't be afraid of me. I'm only going to tell you the truth. The only one that's going to get pissed off is your demon, and that's what you need to find within you, as we found it within ourselves. And we're pretty gentle about slaying the dragons here. We really are. It might seem like it's really intense, but it's not. Anyway, 347. I'll give the number out if you guys want to jump in. 347-637-3265. And the BTR listener number is 029. That's already been sent onto Facebook while the music was rolling. And just a little heads up to everybody, I spent 3 hours last night going through my list of friends to find deleted dead accounts, to which I found 174 dead accounts. So I was able to remove those to open up a lot of space for people. I currently have room for 67 on Facebook. I've been adding, I had one run of 54 people today. Facebook requests. So it was a good thing I cleaned that up, wasn't it? And because I'll tell you what I was looking for were the newer people that have just come aboard and found themselves finally that you're not a legal name. That somehow this truth resonated deep within you because it is truth and you are truth. That's why it resonated. Welcome. It's a good idea. It's a good idea to not be dead. You know? Just a thought. So in as much as I have newer people coming in, every time I add one, today I added, I think, probably another 20 or 30 beyond the 54. Anyway, what I do is when one comes in, I add the 5 previous as well. I wanted to keep room open for newer people coming in and bringing people in, because I've had lots of people on the waiting list literally for a couple of years. I've been at the 5,000 limit for a couple of years. So it's nice. It's wonderful having an open door for people. So you want to talk about bored out of your skull? I'll tell you what is good about Facebook now is that when you go to that and you delete an account, it doesn't refresh the page, so you have to scroll back down. You know how slow that can be. It just became continuous. But I'll tell you, by the time I was getting close to the bottom, I don't even know if I got to the very end of the friends, the 5,000. But I'll tell you, by the time I was getting down there, it was really, really, really slow to load up. So I'd be waiting, 5 to 10 seconds for every new 20 people showing up. So no, well, I'll just suck it up and hang out and see. And yeah, so we made lots of room. Happy to be able to tell people that. So, yeah. There we go. Come on, guys. Come on. I want to hear from the newbies. All the mics are open. As soon as you put your hand up, I'll open the mic. So 770's in, 360's in, and of course roar. We already know it's there because I can hear you roar from here. And by the way, everything's in ink blot. Look, D. Washimoto. The nun symbol is simply a Rorschach mirror. Have a look at it.
Hello.
Hello. Welcome.
Hey, I want to test to the magic that we talk about here. A few months ago, I got the legal name, got a letter from the court calling me in on an old discrepancy on a bankruptcy.
Calling who in?
The legal name.
Oh, okay. Just want to make sure we're not confusing you with that. That's all. I'll keep you guys pure. So keep going. These are the little things we need to be aware of. Okay, guys. Now, hang on a second. This is important. You brought up a very important thing that people need to know. As soon as you do not own or take ownership in mind of the legal name, then get real impeccable about how you address it. It is a dead thing. So do not say me in context with, this is for everybody, so thank you for this. This is beautiful. Never say me or mine or claim in thought anything to do with the legal name in any way, shape, or form. You must exercise it completely from you. So when you speak of this dead thing, speak of it as something completely separate from you with no relation to you, because that will bring you back into relationship and contract with it if you do so. So this is where we're impeccable, speaking of that dead thing called legal name, never to be confused with me ever. There you go. Thank you. Beautiful. Show up.
Okay, so So I get anyway. I got the letter. This is about the magic that you speak of, right? That we know about at the table. What happens when you disavow a legal name? Anyway, so I got this document, and of course the fear kind of went up in me. You know, I was thinking, oh shit, not again. I don't want to go to court. So I was almost contemplating whether or not to call the attorney that settled the case 7 or 8 years prior. But I thought, no, I'm not going to do it. I'm just going to let it ride. Anyway, it was at that same time that I had read on the back of the social that had the legal name on it. It basically said that the card don't belong to you, and that if you find a lost or stolen card, you should return it to said address. And then up below that, it said all other social security questions should go to another address. So it dawned on me right there. I said, okay, the card's not mine. So I sent it back to him with a note saying, hey, I found your property. And, I've held on to it for some 20 years, didn't realize it was yours, but have it back and have a nice day. Anyway, so these two things were working at the same time. You know, I got this document in my possession, summoning the legal name to court, and I had just sent back the legal name's Social Security card. So I'm driving down the road, and I get a phone call, and a very pleasant female voice was on the other end, and she asked for the legal name. And for a moment there, I thought it was somebody I knew, but I didn't answer to it. I said, who's calling? And she said, I can only speak to the person, the legal name. And I said, is that your policy? And she said, that's our policy. And I said, well, I'll tell you what. On a friendly basis, when you change your policy, call me back and we'll have a chat. And apart from that, I can't help you. And so I hung up the phone. And the court docket completely went away. I didn't hear no more about it. Nothing came of it. And, of course, I didn't hear anything from the Social Security Administration at all. And it was a done deal. I mean, it was over. And so, I never owned a legal name, and I gave them back their property, and that's it. Thought I'd put that in there. Hello? Hello?
Oh, there we go. Sorry. Yeah. Again, if I go quiet, Roar or somebody else jump in because I was just ready to type Skype jump. And it is this magical. When you see the legal name as simply as a motherfucking lava burning hot potato, of course they want to give it back because it's burning them. When you send this back, you are literally handing a volcano of their guilt back. You will wear upon you the guilt of another if you choose to, and that is the trick of the tale, right there. One can be absolved of guilt if one can pass the buck to another who is willfully and willingly taking it. Sorry, no. I take full responsibility only for self and only for my own actions. You can keep the hot potato, and that's exactly what she was trying to do. She was trying to give that hot potato back. That's why the demons can only talk to the legal name. You have to be the one to personify the id entity, to bring the id, paper doll, dead ego thing to life. You choose to do that or not. And every time you bring that demon to life, you bring upon yourself all of the original sin of all time, all humanity, all space. Is that what you want? I don't think that's a good idea, personally, if you want to get personal about it. So I thought it was a really shitty idea, and I don't sail on the fee seas anymore. Funny you mentioned poly-see, poly-do. It's what parrots do. They mimic. And when you see the mimic, that's the mime I see. I see the dance of the mimic, the copycats. And it's all about the copyright. If they can copy your right, then they have your voice. That's why everything is done in voices on paper. It's a flat earth, one-dimensional, flat, two-dimensional world. creating a 3D pop-up reality called legal surreality. And the Petri dish has been poisoned. The Jew Peters, the Saturnian, bunch of burned out stars, dead things, worshiping gold, God with a silent Lucifer. In gold we trust, it says right on the pennies, doesn't it? They don't put the L in there, but there's room for one. Remember, I deal in all time and space. I'm not limited to a piece of metal or a piece of paper. Yeah, the met all, the meet all of on her. Yeah, Medal of Honor. No, I don't think so. Yeah, there was a big fractal. I've been tracking the Zulus. How would I put this? What I'm doing is I'm aligning historical events on the multi-layer chessboard, seeing when the Zulu War happened, when the Spanish Armada, World War II, blah, 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 blah. And I'm looking at the correlation of the dates, and boy, does October 15th in the form of August 15th show up a lot. Remember, October is synonymous with Libra, balance. So the scales have been tipped out of balance with the scares. And it's all about scarcity, isn't it? Scarcity. Scare the spirit of the law of truth. Can you be scared out of the truth? No. Used to be able to be scared out of it. But I always knew the truth deep within me, the natural order of things, to let be what is and go with creation. That's the part that people need to get to once they get past the legal name. This is my feeble attempt, as it will be with many others of us, speaking of this magic, that once you get across the legal name threshold, what is a thresh? Thresh is used to beat the wheat, to separate the wheat and the chaff. And you will cross that threshold, and you will be tested to the degree that you need to be. And all you need to understand is this: no affiliation, no conceptual agreement to being anything regarding anything in the legal world. Make no claims. It happens rather quickly. To some, it'll be as simple as a stoned-looking cop walking up and walking away, and others might spend 6 months in jail. To the degree that the fractal that they are ripping down. Some of us have been through the mill. That's the mill. Miller, mile's end, mile end, mill end, to mill, grind the flour. Square mile, scare mile, scare my Lucifer consciousness, and they'll draw you into it. Scared for your own survival. What, you doubt creation or something? I've met many people in my life that talk about the power of God and have no fear, and they're the most terrified people I've ever met. They don't trust creation. Apparently some penis-bearing thing in the sky concept, is going to save them. No. It's not how it works. That's idol worship. Yeah, the idol. Your vision is dulled. Your senses are numbed. Numbers and letters. It's always about the rentals, isn't it? Rent hers. Idols. Luciferian hexes called candles. The list goes on and on and on. Get across the threshold. You are not a dead legal name. It was the idea, the id-ia, the id-ia, which is the dead world, flat earth, an id world. Idiots live there. Yeah. Id, ought to do this, ought to do that. No. You ought to just stand in truth. If you choose to be dead, that's your choice. By the sword, die by the sword. Those that live by the word, die by the word. Depends on what word, what spiral you're part of. Going up or going down. The elevator goes both ways here. You know, it swings both ways. But you better be able to see the elevator within yourself. And you will be tested. You will be tested. Have no fear. Truth prevails. You can doubt that all you want. In the same way that you must be able to doubt 1 + 1 = 2. It's the same thing. And for those that can attest to the truth itself, they know that 1 + 1 = 2, and that no attachment, and I'm talking thought attachment. I'm not talking paper physical. I'm talking the very idea of the legal name, reality. If you are still encumbered by the legal name reality, seeking vengeance, they took my shit, and then you are of this world. Stay here. Because the whole idea of this trap was to make damn sure that the dopey demon stayed here. So you have to decide whether you're the dopey demon or not. It's easy to see. The dopey demon keeps going in circles. Little circle jerk will be wuzzing. Reliving the July, August, September, October loop. They'll be living in that missing day. The will be was. But don't worry. Like every good lab with an out-of-control virus, burn it. Yeah. Yeah, don't worry. This virus will never get airborne. You are the airborne. Veru. In truth, intent of divine feminine, verus, not the truth ruse or ruse-ster. Cock-a-doodle-doo. Yankee Doodle Dandy. Yeah, the Yonkees. The Yangtze River. Also tying in the fact that the original continent had Ireland, Scotland, England, and Wales connected to it, and it was ripped away. Sorry, just waiting. I have to wait and see this stuff. But anyway, you getting the gist of this, that the legal name is the thing that's killing you? That's all you need to get. And from there, you'll see it for yourself. I don't care if you believe me or not. 1 + 1 = 2. When you cross the threshold and understand that the very idea, anything connected to the idea of the legal name contract that you have nothing to do with, is going to destroy you by your consent, to allow it to destroy you while you live in fear, running for guns, running for the hills, bugging out, and all the rest of that fear porn shit these monkeys out there want to promote, that are synonymous with fear porn, that are synonymous with illusions, that are synonymous with hate, that are synonymous with vengeance, that are synonymous with wars and fear. And by their actions, I know them. And there's not many out there that I can think of that haven't heard of the legal name fraud. You know, the David Icks, Wilcoxes, Bonaccis, Cliffords, all of these people know this. All of them know this. All of them know this. I have first-hand knowledge that they do. At least now you know what direction they walk. So go ahead, follow them to the bow of the ship of the Poseidon that's already underwater and going down to sit beside the Titanic. Or sell your own ship. It's entirely up to you. I need to fill my cup here. Coffee. 25 minutes, 10 seconds to roll over. 347-637-3265 is the call-in number on the landline, and the BTR number is 029. For those newer to Skype, just type in BTR listener 029 if you haven't got it in your contacts. And you don't add it to your contacts. It'll show up once you search it. It will always be there. You don't need to add it. But once you see it come up from the search, just right-click it, hit call, brings you straight to the board. And you got 24 minutes, 40 seconds to do so before the rollover. I'm going to grab a coffee. Rory, you want to take the helm? Or you want me to toss it on? Okay, you take the helm, and I'll grab a coffee. And, come in and talk to Rory. If her doesn't scare you like I do, come in and talk to her. Okay? So, just being fair with everybody. There's nothing to be afraid of. But, I mean, if you are a little afraid of me, because I have a reputation, rather nasty truth reputation, which I can't even say I'm proud of, but I am proud of it, in that it is only the pride of the truth. That's the main theme, to destroy the liars, where we are the lions, the true lions. Okay, I'll be right back. Dance.
Who else is out there that would like to chime in? Well, I can share a story. Crossing that threshold of the legal name, knowing that that's not you. You're very fond of that calling and all that. You just have to let it go. Let it go. Just an idea. Yeah. Get rid of the fear. Get rid of any guilt or shame, vengeance, all that. Let it go. And trust in yourself, in you. And you can trust creation that everything's okay. Right now. Nobody? No one? Hi. Hello?
Okay, I'll come back in.
Hi.
Hey. Yeah, I just want to say that everything that Kate's been saying about the legal name is absolutely true. Even the Petri dish thing is completely true. And everything for what Ninja was talking about last night, absolutely, perfectly true. And when it dawned on me that they got you at the mitochondrial DNA point, that tells you that you cannot win in a courtroom. In other words, they don't want to hear it. They don't want to hear truth. They're not interested in it. They don't want to know you or your truth. In fact, when I was going through my court battle over an insurance issue, I was going through the appeal process trying to get the judge to at least hear me. And the attorney that was suing me, when I went into the courtroom, there was just a judge and just the attorney there. So the whole thing was a kangaroo court. The attorney was sitting up against the wall in a desk, and he was looking in the opposite direction. And I thought, well, that's very peculiar. I mean, here he is suing me, and he won't even look at me, right? And the judge was only saying a few things to me, and he was transferring the court date to another date. That's what he was telling me. And I kept looking over at the attorney, and the guy was intentionally staring at the wall behind the judge. He would not look at me. So I thought, okay, well, whatever. I said, Anyway, they tricked me. They set another court date, and then they had my attorney call me and tell me that they had postponed, that he couldn't make it, and they postponed that court date. And he said, I'd call you back when the court date's been reset. Well, they arrested me instead and charged me with contempt of court. So they had no intentions whatsoever of hearing anything I had to say. They had no intentions of whatsoever toward justice. They just wanted their money. That was it.
It's all about
and that,
fees.
Yeah.
Fees.
And that's when I realized, I started pursuing things. I went down a long road. This happened back in 2006. I came up the UCC side of it, went through the free man stuff, and I never felt comfortable with that because they always seemed to, they always wanted money themselves. And I thought, no, I'm not paying them another guru or attorney. And I stumbled on Kate about 3 years ago. And when I heard the legal name fraud, I concentrated on it. I concentrated on that idea, that concept. And I was married, and I remember the contract, and I reviewed the contract, and it said something about when they registered the marriage that that they would also the fruit of thy union, And I thought, well, what is the fruit? That's your children, right? So right there, they're getting control of your child at the point of conception, right? So, I followed that whole trail, and when Kate brought up the legal name fraud aspect of it, it all clicked for me right there. That's how they had me. That's how they got me. That's how that whole thing started. And once you realize that's the intent of the entire system, that's how it's built. And so when that one card, that one domino falls, you see the whole thing collapse in on itself. For example, when she says, take the pledge out of something, I thought about that, and I thought, take the pledge out of the word in phonics. When you think about taking the pledge out of your life there, we were drilled in the United States to pledge allegiance to a flag, right? And you take the pledge out, that's, there goes your whole country. That what you thought was your country, that whole thing collapses. And you got to have balls to sit at this table. You really do. You got to have balls to sit here and watch everything get taken out of your reality. But at the end of it all, when you get down to the very core of it, that is where you meet your true essence. And this word freedom, that's only part of it. That's only a small part of it. Everybody talks about freedom. Man, this is your soul. This is absolutely the return of your soul. It's way beyond freedom. And when you get there, yeah, it's scary. Believe me, that I lost everything. I lost my house. I lost my business. I lost all that stuff. But I live far better today than I did when I was saturated with all of that stuff. And I will tell you that everything Kate is telling you is absolutely true. And if you will step out one step at a time and walk that road, it can get rough, but hey, the life you're living ain't no cakewalk, I assure you. It wasn't no cakewalk when I was in it. That the system is not a safety net, man. It's not. It's a soul-sucking system. That's what it is. And when you finally stand up to that and you start taking those steps to walk your way out, and you got to be diligent about it. You can't just cut up a library card and say, oh, I did it. You got to take a consecutive steps along the way until you walk your way out of there. But when you cross that bridge, you know it. And on the other side of that bridge, all of your intellect comes back, all of your spiritual awareness, everything that I was prior to coming into this world, and I won't get into that because it sounds a little kooky to some people, but all that memory comes back of who you really are, what you really are. And there's no going back. There's no way I would own that name again. No way. And that's the walk. Anyway, that's my 2 cents, Roy. Hey, by the way, it's a pleasure to talk to you. I've never spoken to you before. Yeah.
Oh, it's great. Yep. Yeah, the pledge, getting the pledge out of the alphabet, but also, like you said, that whole Pledge of Allegiance and not, just that whole Atlas thing, just, we are one. I am another you. Oh, yeah.
It's the gift I was ever given, you know, to be told. It was, you know, if the house is stacked against you, right? It's good to have someone such as Kate come in and say, here's a couple of aces for you to put in your hand, you know, and that's all you needed to round out the royal flush. You know, I mean, if you're going to play against a crook and a thief, well, then beat him in his own game, and that's exactly what has happened here. You've been given a royal flush to play against a liar, a trickster. And really, there's no game to be played. It's just knowing the truth. You know, that's the royal flush, is the truth. And once you have that, you can never be denied, or that can never be taken from you. You know?
What you are is you're the Joker holding that royal flush, looking through the eyes of the Joker and looking at the fools, the soul elves. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. And here's another thing about the authority outside of you. I kind of look at that as a yes and a no. Truth is definitely, you know, it saturates the entire existence of reality, and I tend to believe that has a consciousness to it. But once you step into that, that's family. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's family. And so, no, the liars, the thieves, the crooks, and they're everywhere. They'll be with you when you pass on. They're out there. But once you get it here and you embed that into your spirit here, you can look that'll carry with you on your path home. You know, don't fall for another's game. If they'll sell you right on down the line all the way home, there's always going to be some carnival act waiting to veer you off your path. But Kate ain't never asked me for a dime, never, you know, and gave me the truth. So, you know, there you go.
It's not difficult. It's not difficult. It really isn't. And, you know, I had my own wrestling match with me sorting that out. So, and it's not because, this is the other thing too, and I constantly insist that people leave me out of it in the most personal sense, you know.
Yeah.
This has got nothing to do with me, where everything that has to do with me is within me, so I take care of that within me. The only thing I can do in a neutral position is through my own mime, I see my own actions I present to you, to myself. You know, I present it to me too at the same time. Funny that, eh? Anyway, what I present in my actions, as we present in our actions, standing in this one simple collective truth, it doesn't belong to me. It doesn't belong to you. It belongs to all. We have the choice to accept that truth or not. And that's where I leave it. I don't, you know, I can only do the things that I do from my perspective of why I do them. And for me, it's simply to destroy evil. That's my intent. Whether that's yours or not, that is entirely up to you. My intent is to destroy evil, period. And I leave it there. I don't add anything to it. I don't take anything away from that intent. We all have that choice. And, you know, if we're able to, at this table, help others in the same way that we've helped ourselves. This is people that have helped themselves first. Those at this table, we have helped ourselves first. We had our own journeys to find our way here. Richard, like yourself, I went through the free man stuff. I went through the, you know, all of it. I went through UC, everything you can imagine in absolute desperation of protecting my family, my home, and everything else, and that was all ripped from me. That was my zero alpha point. wow, everything changed. So what I do is I look for the things that have changed to see what caused the change. Where was I the cause in that effect? And regardless of where I've been in my life, anything that ever went wrong, I always blamed or looked at me first. Because I always knew that in every interaction with anyone, I was half of the dance. I was half of the equation. I was half of the causal position. Cause is either something you do or something you agree is okay that someone else does. So you're either part of the cause at source of self or as a collective part of the cause that all humanity is part of. I separated myself from that. I am not going to be a part of the murder of a child through the ability of one bullet being manufactured. And that is all based on the manufacturing of money off the souls of stolen life to create death bonds to bind you to death, and then the checks are printed accordingly. You call that cash. Bonds, stocks, in the very literal effect sense of things. The only thing that empowers that reality is your contract to be part of that reality. While you think you are a legal name, the bond that was created between the creators of that body, call them mom and dad or male and female sperm and egg, that created the body, has nothing to do with you. It is only, there's no physical connection to this at all, guys, at all. There's only one connection, and it's a spiritual one. It's an agreement. And if you agree to something, then that is what you are in contract with. This is a very simple contract law concept. If you agree to do something with another, then you are what? You are bound by contract. In the same way that when I was helping out, renovations and whatever with these very elite clients that I had to fucking stomach, and it really was tough most days, I got to tell you. I mean, these holier-than-thou types and, yes, ma'am, no, ma'am, yes, sir, no, sir. And, me, I was just concerned about feeding my family. I didn't give a fuck about their idiotic nuances. You really need a pot filler over your stove? You can't walk to the fucking sink? Running plumbing up over a stove with a pot filler so you didn't have to carry a pot from the sink to the... You lazy fuck. But it looks real good. But that's the mentality of the people I was dealing with on the grandest of scales. And I learned to hate that whole concept. But while I was working with them and doing things within their reality, I was in contract to that reality as being part of it. So I was party to the crime of it all. I'm just no longer party to the crime of it all. I am only party to the truth that destroys the crime of humanity that has destroyed so much, has fed so much from creation's source point. And it's definitely a source spot with me. So I put a lid on it. That's when you cap off the hell. The legal name is literally the gate of hell. It is the bottleneck of the hourglass that you are pushing yourself through back into the higher sands of it all. What you're doing is you are pushing through to the top part of the hourglass from the sands of time below. It's a tight squeeze, but it's an easy one. Legal name, by agreement, makes you guilty of all crimes. Now, future, and past. Best not be a part of that. That would just be, if you want to call that advice, I'd call that some good advice. I took my own advice first, though. That way I could walk it and talk it and speak only from experience, not from a theoretical point of view where the legal gurus want to speak from. Well, if we use this statute and put it together with this, and, conceptually in theory it should take care of that and that and that, yeah. Yeah, and the dance will go on as long as you allow it, or until you start getting a little too close to home with them, like I did. And then they jump real quick. They destroy entire realities around you. People like Richard, myself, and quite a few others have been through that proverbial ripped everything away from us mill. And there was a lot of vengeance that had to be fought through there. A lot of shit that had to be let go. Could I be willing to let go of it all? Yes. Because it was only the thought of it that was trapping me. It is only the love of my children, your children, those that were in terms of family or friends in my life, those that showed true love. That's who I speak for. That's why I do this. And it's not for some altruistic, noble idea of self-sacrifice at all. It is just simply the truth. I don't put anything on that. I don't dress it up with anything. I don't need to. It's a little wooden cup. Very, very, very simple. The simplest of grails. And we got 3 minutes, 28 seconds to roll over, guys. So if you want in, you got about a little less than 3.5 minutes. So, like I said, I'd love to hear from some newer people. I really would. And yeah, I can be very intimidating, and it's not because I'm mean. Not to you. I am mean only to the lies that are trapping you. Because the truest sense of my nature is you can hear my nature in the songs I write. You see, that's the thing about me. If you want to know me, just listen to the songs as I used to put in my biography. Hi, I'm so-and-so. This is what I do. If you want to understand about me, just listen to the songs. They say everything I ever needed to say anyway. The end. And that was it. Short and sweet. Because it was true. It is true. I know my true nature. You know yours. Are you evil? No. I didn't think so. But then you're going to be the one to decide whether you are or not me. What more needs to be said? Here it is in a nutshell. Nothing like totally taking down the entire voting system. It's illegal to vote. Name gate. Slam it shut. Think of your first reaction of finding out that it is illegal to use a legal name. Then the first reaction should be, well, fuck, how do I live? Yeah, then it's in that blinding moment you see the tsunami of lies that have been surrounding you, and you will feel like you're getting swallowed up. Tell you what, that's quite an ocean there. Breathe. Just get to the surface and breathe. Stay there for a little bit. Doggy paddle a little bit. Hang out, don't worry. The boats, we're right there. You just got to breathe. Because I learned something very important in rescue diving. If someone is saying, I want to be rescued, and you go out and swim to them, and they try to fucking drown you, and then you swim away, you go, oh, yeah, it was close, and then if you're stupid enough, you'll go back and do it again. That was a lesson that had to be taught. If someone is too panicky and will not allow you to simply bring them to shore or bring them to the boat, and they try to drown you in the process, here's the rescue diver rule. Let the motherfucker drown. Don't drown trying to save them. You'll both be dead. So I let them drown. That's the legal name world. I let it drown. I'm not here to rescue anyone. Certainly not here as anyone's fucking savior. You buy that program? Someone's coming to save you? Okay, whatever. Gumby. I prefer to play the pokey side of things, Ride my own horse. My own creation, my own Horace glass, hourglass. I turn mine back over. This cup runneth over. It's a simple thing. But 10 seconds, but you will panic at the first glance of it's illegal to use a legal name. I know. Breathe. Because only when you breathe can you be brought into the boat. Because, we don't like a boat that's rocky here, okay? We got it finally sailing nice and level. And when you calm down, don't worry. You'll already be home. Because the only thing that's going to panic in that regard is the demon worried about its physical survival. Or you're immortal. You want to step into immortality? There it is. Step across that threshold. While you are a legal name, there's a tombstone waiting for you at the OK Corral. Because you got corralled by saying OK, the tombstone. It works both directions, you see. This is not coincidence. This is pure magic. This is pure visual seeing what is. And boy, were we duped. Joke's over, Lou. See ya. Yeah, it's for the love of humanity, for the love of life itself, for the love of your children and my own that I do this. And I've questioned myself dearly over the last number of years. Did I do the right thing? And then I answer myself, with something like this. Was it the right thing to do for all? To which I can only answer yes. Then I answer myself this. Then why'd you ask, stupid? Good answer. You see, it is not important that others know why I do this. It is only important that I do. When you get there, when you realize that it's only important what you do, and leave all of the emotional baggage and shit outside of it, then you will not be trapped in the matrix of doublespeak, dead world legal name reality. Because in that world you are instantly and totally double-crossed. You are marked for a grave with a marked beast number. And you'd think these Christians would figure that out about Revelations. Pretty straight-up book. And it reads a lot differently now than it ever read. But then we know the truth. And only when you step across the threshold of not being dead anymore, by mere idea of thinking you are dead, if one thinks they're a legal name, then, by definition, you think you are a dead thing. Here's an example. If you are still one that has any form of id entity, in and of Babylon at this moment, those that are in Babylon but not of Babylon, that still have these sort of things, they're the ones that are using these sorts of things as tools to take the whore down. So what they've done is they've turned it over and made a benevolent use for it. While there are those of us that are completely out in the most literal way, not a single thread connecting to this reality. There are those that are in Babylon, like myself. The meat stick's in Babylon, but I'm not of it. And in the most legal, literal sense, in the most physical form, I'm not in it either. I am in this game only to the barest bones that I need to be in this to be able to simply do this, to get the word out, to destroy the beast. Those that are in but not of the system, that help those of us that are doing this particular side of it, we work in tandem. It's like one has the lifeline on one end and the other has it on the other, and we pull each other home. We ride the tandem bicycle. In neutral. You've got your role, I've got mine. It is finally deciding what our role is. That's all that matters. Does it matter to you? For those that care about their families, those that care about their friends and what have you, okay? If you truly care about them, then it won't matter what they think or what they say, because you do the right thing, because it is the right thing to do. It only matters that you know that it is the right thing to do, and that no one will ever take you from that course. No amount of motion, no matter how stormy those waters are, and to have your family and everything you ever understood in your life ripped from you is a fairly tumultuous ocean to swim around in for a while, with the full knowing that, well, they may not know what it is I am truly doing. They may not see what it is that is truly going on, but I do. So I'm not going to get pulled back into the mess just because, well, I didn't mean to hurt your feelings. I don't play that game. Of course I didn't. Of course I didn't. Listen to the songs. Not a whole lot of death and mayhem going on in those. I used to laugh at some of the people who came into the songwriters. Some of the dark shit they used to sing and write about. It's like, wow. Okay. Can you bring a positive message out of that? The good news was I always could, so it didn't really matter. But the point is, it should only matter to you, what you think of you, not what others do. That's why I don't care about anyone's opinion. Go ahead. Call me an asshole. Yeah, I can be that. Sure I can. Been that many times. Rather expert at it. I can be as sweet as, because that's my true nature anyway. And it's only because of my true nature that I am so far on the other side of dragon slaying. Because it's that sweet nature I'm protecting within me, that I will not let anything taint it. Ever. And it's quite a walk. There are many that have walked it. There are many that can sit here at this table, or listening now or not, but they're at this table, that know exactly what it is I share, that know exactly what it is they found for themselves. Not because I was there walking them by the hand, showing them this, that, and the other. No. There wasn't too many walking me by the hand when I was going through it. Had to figure that out by myself, because I'll tell you, the ones that I thought were holding my hand were the ones who were actually cutting my hand off. They were the ones that were taking from me, even while I was locked up. They couldn't dive fast enough into my reality. Things like luring Sue into a situation. But then what do you expect from the other side of the Thompson clan? You see, I'm here to uphold the law of know thyself, and I know the part of the clan that doesn't understand their own law. And of course, by your actions, Don, you're known anyway, so it's all right. I know who the true evil is. And that's all I observe. I observe the situations around people, how they can adapt to the pressures of the system and what's going on around them, and I watched an entire reality crush down on Sue and my daughters, to rip them as far from me as possible. But I assure you, on February 11th, sitting around having made a fresh pot of leek soup, it was quite a blissful evening that turned into a hell overnight. So that's the alpha omega point there. Everything that happened beyond that point was caused outside of me, while I was part of the cause in the choices I had made to take Lucifer and Jezebel and this fucking Luciferian construct of death, evil, mayhem down once and for all. Was it a price I was willing to pay? If I'd have been asked at the time, no, I would have buckled. These are the things, the mystery things that needed to unfold for themselves so that I could experience them and sort myself out so that I could sit at this table now with all of you and we all see the same thing. Again, you will be tested. You don't hear people like Dean Clifford and the rest of them talking about you will be tested. They're already assuming that you're in getting tested anyway, and you will fail. In their world, you will fail because you are a criminal with the mere thought of thinking you need to go to court. You're trapped by the idea. This is as simple as changing your mind to change your universe. I remember at a young age going, how could that be true? You know, change your mind, change the universe. Well, it's true. Because I changed my mind on a very great deal of things. And boy, my world changed. My universe changed. I just decided to sit at the helm of my ship for a change, instead of letting someone else steer it off into, well, your illegal name, you get to work this long and this long, and then you get to put in a 6-foot hole. By the way, make sure you produce some more demons for, you know, us to suck life source into this reality. Oh, okay, Bob. Yeah, we all. Well, I won't say we all did that. I was guilty of it. I am guilty of it. I brought 2 meat sticks into this world. 2 beautiful points of light got sucked into those. Same way I got sucked into this, and everyone got sucked into whatever meat stick they're sitting around in. You got sucked in here. Excuse me, stolen from heaven itself. Yeah, we're here to fix that. Yeah, these heels, they're dug into the ground. You know what the legal name is to the system? It's their... If you see the legal name as Achilles, the allegory of Achilles, what is the allegory of Achilles? Achilles was the immortal, dipped into the river Hades, yet had a weak point, because that's where Mama was holding Achilles, by the Achilles tendon, the heels, that the waters of protection didn't touch. The legal name is the Achilles of the system. Legal name fraud exposes the Achilles heel, and the tendon, the hamstring, is cut, and it cripples Lucifer. The allegory, one arrow through Achilles' heel killed him. You could only be killed through the Achilles heel, and that's how the system is killed. One shot. That's all it takes. Isn't it funny that it was Paris that took the shot? Pair eyes. Paris. Pa rise. How about the spirit breath of the Christ mind rise? Because that's what rare is. Not pair is. Rare is. You. It depends if you want to be spiritually rare or medium rare on a bar, be queued in line with the rest of the meat sticks to get slaughtered. And they will feed on you. That's why a murderer is called a butcher. What does a butcher do? A butcher cuts meat up for what? Consumption. Oh yeah, I love that term when they use it. And their army was butchered. Well, did they pack up the loins and the you know? Go into a butcher shop and you'll see how they'll take a cow and they have a beautiful cow that you saw in school, and it's got all the little sections of it. Here's where the loin steaks come from, the rump steak. Yeah. You might as well do the same thing with man, because it's the same thing. The DNA has been corrupted. The petri dish has been poisoned. Time for a new experiment. But we don't need to experiment now, because we... well, X, pair, mint. Yeah, we're not of the duality mind any longer. Or you can be the key spear mint, one who is, or keys, one who is the life and the creation of the duality mind. No, I've removed myself from the experiment. There's no experimenting on me, thanks. I'll keep it pure. And really, everything that you're going to hear at this table is going to always boil back down to the one boil that needs lanced. And that's a legal name, boil. And that's the frog in a pot, boiled to death, and not even knowing it. This will be the one thing that humanity clings to for dear life, to defend to the death, that they will take from cradle to grave. And the vastness of humanity has one of these marks of the beast on them. Remove the mark. Set yourself free. And don't worry about what's going to happen tomorrow. When you let go, creation takes over. Because until you let go, creation can do nothing but watch and cry as you destroy yourself. As soon as you allow creation to step in, all of creation steps in. And the most wonderful things happen. And you don't even have to be there. You will watch things of evil nature get destroyed around you in the most beautiful ways by the mere thought of coming against you. Yeah, creation works this way. And when you step into creation, creation works for you. Creation is no longer neutral in the game, because at this point, creation, you, has stepped in to allow creation to take back what is rightfully creation's, life itself. So you can choose the dead world to be dead, in league with Lucifer, League L, or not. You're in league with Lucifer, enemy. League L, N-am-E, name. The enemy is the name. The name is the enemy. Time for an enema, don't you think? That's what I thought too. Anyway, mini rant over. Am I getting it across clear enough, guys? You have nothing to worry about. It really is that simple. This game's over. You can choose to partake in it or not. You can choose to be dead or alive. So, what choice are you going to make? Because at the end of the day, the only one that's going to make that choice is who? You. Me? Many others? We just decided to make the right choice. And when you make the right choice, you realize there was no choice at all, just the illusion of one to keep you deluded into thinking that you were greater than creation itself. It's a Luciferian mindset. Enough. Enough. Your call. All right, come on, guys. Anybody want in here? I already gave you the cue. Mini rant over. Comments? Thoughts?
Just taking it all in. Yeah. Good.
Hi, Roy.
Hi.
Hello.
It's Jillian.
Hi, Jillian. Good to hear you. Well, again, we don't deal in names here. We deal in reference points only. Map coordinates. It's a lot easier to direct an idea at someone when they have a reference point, not a marker, not a beast, not a name, simply a reference sound to go, oh, hi, that's all it is. Just like Kate is just a sound. You want to get my attention, you can use that. You can use a lot of things, actually. But typically that's going to assure you that you'll get my attention. So Jillian gets my attention for you. Hi.
For sure, yeah. Hi, yeah, I love that. And I've always been the same way. A lot of people mispronounce my name or, have liked to just change it to their liking. And it never has bothered me one bit. So, hey, you or whatever, has never offended me, and whatever works.
Yeah, I know, eh? Hey, asshole, what? Yeah, I'll answer to that. I'll answer to a lot of things. It doesn't matter. It depends on what's going on. So.
Yep.
Well done.
But yeah, I just am really loving the miracles that you can't really put into words. That a lot of
sure beats that. Yeah, it sure beats that series, The Secret, doesn't it? Yeah, well, here we tell you the other 6, not just the one.
Yeah. But, yeah, just really experiencing, I just realized my plates have been expired for a couple months. I didn't really notice or care since I just don't really pay attention to that, realm anymore. But
yeah.
I've gone by a lot of cops, and starting way back when I first kind of started listening a few months ago, driving from Washington to Montana, and I actually thought I was getting pulled over twice. There were lights in my rear view. And, of course, everybody speeds a little bit, You go like 80 when it's 65 or whatever. Pretty open roads.
Just a sec. There is no such thing as speeding. There is as fast as you are going. These signs at the side of the road, that for me, I see them merely as good indicators as to good ideas, not a legal statute sort of thing. When you see lower speeds that are on the side of the road where children play, it's usually just a good idea. So I don't need those signs anymore to know where I am. And so I just wanted to bring that into people. There's no such thing as speeding in the literal sense. The only thing that can happen in terms of speeding is if you are traveling a little too fast for the surroundings that you're in. Can you be in complete control of that? Zipping down a wet road at 120 kilometers or 80 miles an hour. Can you handle that in a school zone? No. So does a speed limit matter? No, because everyone breaks them, even cops. Just making you right, hon, that's all.
Oh, yeah. I have the same,
Yeah, I know you do. That's why I made you right.
For sure. But, yeah, you never know. So I proceeded to pull over twice, and each time I just remember not really fully knowing who I was yet, but looking at like the glove box where the paperwork that they would want right away, and just knowing that still having plates on the car, VINs, everything, I didn't care. I was just like, I'm not giving them a name. They flew right by
Jillian.
Each time.
Jillian, let's bring this one to light, because you brought up a very important thing. It was because you changed your mind regarding the legal name that you knew that any of the VINs or the plates or the paperwork or any of that was irrelevant from that on, yes? Is that what I'm looking for is the clarification of your state of mind. Your state of mind is you're not a legal name, and it doesn't matter about any of the paperwork, does it? Oh, did we lose you, Jillian?
Sounds like we.
Oh, damn, we did.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Aww.
Okay. Damn. Anyway, it doesn't matter. She's going to be right anyway. Watch. What Jillian described to you guys with regards to, moving out of the way. That's all she was doing, was moving out of the way. But what Jillian understands is the fact that she's not the legal name. So it doesn't matter. It does not matter. It does not matter if there's VINs attached or plates attached or anything or whatever. It only matters that she knows she's not the legal name. That is the state of consciousness that is the all-encompassing. I don't care. Like I've said this before, I don't care if you're an international banker that wakes up. I don't care if you're a cop that wakes up. I don't care if you're any of these things that wake up, as long as you wake up. As soon as you know that the legal name is fraud and is a crime to even partake in that reality, none of that reality now exists. It's gone. You see the difference? It's a spiritual state of mind versus a physical state of effect. that is no longer at cause over that spiritual state of mind. Same reason why there's dead plates on the back of the car I drive around in. I don't care. Here I am. Funny. Yeah, I've driven past many parked in front of them to watch them fuck off. They run from you at this point. Yeah. Yeah, it's a good idea to get out of the way, Jillian, especially if they're on their way to get some treats, where there's, you hear the sirens going. That's the sailors. They're off to find some sailors that love sirens and love the music of the sirens to kill them, dash them on the rocks. No, let the dogs go. Woo-hoo! Away they go. Best to get out of their way. I like that idea. Yeah, that really is. That's a crucial point that Jillian has brought up here. Doesn't matter. The whole vibe I was getting from her, she didn't care what was attached to the car, in the car, whatever. To that degree, she didn't care anymore because she knew it had no relevance to her. And as soon as you know it has no relevance to you, but if I carry this piece of paper, it will protect me. No, it won't. The mere fact that you're carrying a piece of paper ties you to all the pieces of paper, so lose them all. You don't need any piece of paper. The only thing that I would even think of carrying is the information to let others know, Babylon has fallen, bulletproof. There's a whole myriad of things, not only on my website, Ninjas, others, Roars, loseaname.com. There are other WordPress sites that have the same information now because they found it for themselves in the same way I found it for myself. The only thing I've done here is I say, hey, I've got a platform at which to share this to, get this information out. It seems pretty important to me, so I thought I took it upon myself. Yeah, it's important information. It's killing all of humanity and killing life itself. I thought it was a good idea just to get the word out there, and that's what we do here. I wouldn't even say 7 nights a week. That limits it. Every moment possible to get the word out here as it appears in the now, like it is right now. No time constraints. And the Petri dish is getting scraped clean, have you noticed? Yeah. This is the refining of gold process, kids. You're the gold. You're heaven's gold. It's a funky planet you're kind of walking around on these days, isn't it? Shit's changing quickly. Have you noticed? Here's the I Ching for today. Here, watch the asking for permission to go pee moment. Hey guys, is it okay if I read the I Ching? I'm going to read it because I'm going to read it. Because I know it's a good idea. I don't need to ask opinions of it. Here's a good idea. 34, Ta Chuang, the power of the great. Let's see what it has to say. I haven't read it yet. Above, Chen, the arousing thunder. Below, Chen, the creative heaven, or Chien. Oh, look, the eye within heaven. The judgment, the power of the great. Perseverance furthers. Oh, yeah, we persevere through this. Yeah, we know. Do you find that a lot? Yeah, yawn. Boring. Anyway, yeah, we'll persevere. The image, thunder in heaven above. The image of the power of the great, thus the superior man, does not tread upon paths that do not accord with established order. And this is where we establish the order of natural order of things. So no, we don't trespass on it. We walk within it. We walk in accord with established order. The string of the heart, a cord of the heart, heartstrings to the truth. The lines, 6 at the top means a goat butts against a hedge. It cannot go backwards, it cannot go forward. Legal name, that's the goat butting against the hedge. The Achilles heel moment. The system, a goat butts against a hedge. It cannot go backward, it cannot go forward. Nothing serves to further. If one notes the difficulty, this brings good fortune. Can you see the catch-22 the system is caught in? It brings good fortune. True story. You didn't think the I Ching meant anything. Uh-huh. Cha-ching. 9 at the beginning means power in the toes. Continuing brings misfortune. Power in the toes, Piscean. If you're still in the toes, the dualities, well, you're still caught in the foot. That's where you're going to find defeat. Better take out the Achilles tendon and get up that shiny shin, Aquarius. Become the child, the calf. Oh, yeah. Power in the toes. Continuing brings misfortune. Don't hang around in the Piscean legal world. Remember, London, Rome, Switzerland, D.C., that's the quad of hate, if you will. All right, that's their world. Yeah. Oh, yeah, I love this. Check this out. 9 at the beginning. I'll read it literally, and there's only one more thing at the end of this. Power in the toes. Continuing brings misfortune. Continuing to use a legal name. This is certainly true. Isn't it? Yes, it is. The change hexagram, 50. Ting, 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 the cauldron. Yeah. The clinging, above the clinging flame, lie the clinging flame. Below, sun, the gentle wind. The judgment, the cauldron, supreme good fortune, success. Oh yeah, this is the pot you want to be in. Fire over wood. The image of the cauldron, thus the superior man consolidates his fate by making, his position correct. Do the right thing because it's the right thing to do. Seal your fate. Your fa-ti. Fa, heart, ti, yourself, you, nothing sweeter than you. Te, nosca ti ipsum. Fa-ti, the heart of yourself by making your position correct. Follow your heart. Know thyself. This is what this game is about. And if you think you are a legal lane, you're dead. Literally, spiritually, mentally, physically, forever. Not a good place to be. Can I make a suggestion here? Don't be there. Be here. Listen to the truth. Just let me know when you've had enough getting beat up and watching others get beat up. It's the only reason I'm here, to stop it. For me, it's just not a good idea. It's just not a good idea. I could make it more difficult, or I could make it more simple. I'm not quite sure how, though. Legal name equals Achilles heel of the system. The goat butts its head against the hedge, and it cannot go any further. It cannot move forwards or backwards. It becomes caught in its own back and forth, its own vibration. It's done. It's over. Comments? Or not?
Wow.
I know.
Every time. And that perseverance comes up a lot in the I Ching. Yes. Goodness.
Yeah. It's patience of Job. You see, patience is Job, so your job is patience. Get it? Heal thyself, doctor. I have no patience. I am the patient one. I'll take care of the patient. Me. Because for liars, I have no patience. What, do I look like a fucking doctor to you? Do I look like a Jew? Do I look like a lawyer? A fucking Jew? And by the way, when I say fucking Jew, I'm talking about the ones that are the false Jews, that claim to be Jews. And I'm sure there's a lot of very nice Jews. I know I've met a few. But it's not about the culture of the Jew. Look, they're trying to poison the culture, you see? They're trying to spoil the Petri dish with their culture. Yeah. Good thing we had it trapped in a little Petri dish, eh? Yeah. Yeah, we are the center for the dis-ease control. And there's no longer dissing the Ea creation. Diocese, dis-ease, same shit to me. Feces? Yeah, that's a sea you'll pay to walk on, won't you? Oh, yeah. Yeah, the game is simply this, to destroy evil. And let the demons go fucking mental over this, eh? It's funny as hell. You can really fuck with them, too. It's a lot of fun. And you do it in the most lighthearted way. Because here's the thing. You don't know who you're talking to in a uniform or whatever. Could be an innocent ignorant, right? Yeah? Yeah.
Yeah.
Could be a most vicious fucking demon. Typically, the higher ranking ones are those. You know, your typical constables, you know, they're not stables, you know, constable without stability. Yeah, they're the horse in that constable, right? It's quite the con-nun drum, isn't it? Which drum are you walking to? You see, the magic shows up in the phonics everywhere. It's the great revealing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So what does the symbol P mean, Kate? Whatever I want it to. Really? Yeah, I mind my own P's and Q's, thanks. I got a whole different array of what those mean to me, and I only pick the good ones out to put that into that symbol. Really fucks with their letters. Doesn't it? No, sorry, office sire, one who is sired of the serpent. Sorry, officer. It's illegal to ask someone for a legal name because using a legal name is illegal. But you know that, right? Being an officer of the law. Oh, wait a minute. You don't have a bar card. What are you doing practicing law? What are you, a fucking lawyer? No, I'm a part of the Masons. And a little bar card there, huh? Yeah, uh-huh. Yeah, fucking dogs. But you don't know who you're talking to, so I'm neutral on it. You see, the hair on the back of my neck goes up only when I see a uniform. I'm on full alert. That's all. More like fool alert. Are you a fool? Because I'm on full alert, and if you're not, you're the fool that's not on alert because you're a fool alert. You've been fooled into thinking you're something that you're not. How can I tell? It's easy. Because you look like the guy beside you and the girl beside him and the guy beside... You see, you're all in a uniform. So you're all of one mind. A uniformed body is a uniformed mind. So it's easy to undo the uniform. I just unbutton it. And I make it very clear in the most legal way I can. Just like you can. It's illegal to use a legal name. Why are you aiding and abetting someone into committing a crime? Are you a criminal? Have a nice fucking day, officer. But here's the problem with that, because when you get this, you got to go hunting for them. They don't chase you anymore. And it's really, you got to call up the SIU and stuff, and you got to call them and, you know, hey, you're a criminal, huh? And then you laugh and you walk away because you just told them the truth. Now they have it upon themselves to decide whether they're a criminal or not. And the ones that stay in uniform, well, it's easy to say that they're criminals. Because you told them the truth. Whether they go and look it up or not, I mean, you'd think that someone in a uniform, unicorn, you know, one horn, two horns, they got three horns, these fuckers. But anyway, you want to stay in that uniform. What you're telling me is that you don't care about the law because I just told you what the law is. So maybe if you care about the law in your uniform of the law, go and look it up. And it is illegal to use somebody else's property without their permission. I think they call that theft, don't they? You borrow someone's car without asking? They might get a little pissed off, huh? Especially if it's a Ferrari 308 GTS that you just so happen to get in and, you know, Jimmy, just because you can start the car and drive it away doesn't make it yours, does it? Well, it depends if you have the key or not. And you weren't ever given the key to drive the legal name car. You're driving around the stolen vehicle. That's why it's called a vessel. Vehicles inside vehicles inside vehicles. Truth, hick, else. Oh, hickey. What are those? Well, you get those on the side of your neck when someone sucks on you like a fucking vampire. Right, Billy Hicks? Oh, yeah. It goes so deep. And the deceivers are everywhere. They're funny. They're great actors. Oh, yeah, they have all sorts of uniforms and robes. See, Ro B. Ro, spirit breath, B. So if they're wearing the physical Ro Bs, they're telling you what their spirit breath is feeding. The robes, the dead. This is where you take all of the robes and the uniforms off the emperor. And they burn in their own heat. It's really neat. You'll like it. But you might find it a bit, upsetting because they don't chase you anymore, and you have to go look for them to, it's it's funny how you're in your own silence. They hear your sirens from miles off, and they stay the fuck away from you. Yeah, they mind their own business, their own duality state of. Because I mind my own business. I took care of my state of duality and decided to be the singularity of truth. And many of us here have done that. Funny that. Do you guys find the same problem? Oh. Oh. Yeah, different point of view, isn't it? Here's the difference between Dean Clifford and I. Dean Clifford is in terror of these people grabbing him again because he plays in the legal world. Me? Quite the opposite. The system's in terror of me, and I'm out looking for them. Have I not ever told anyone to email as many law firms and cop stations and courts as possible around the planet? Go hunt them out. You're the hunter, Orion, the true hunter. Be not of Babylon, children. The moment you step out of Babylon is the moment you control it. And the best part is, there's no vengeance there. It's like, I've got some really cool friends here. I just want to fucking hang out and play, And fuck off. I was going to go into one of those conversations you would have with, like with a soldier. The movie Good Kill was so funny. But anyway, it's a comedy on the most spiritual of levels. It doesn't look like a comedy, though. It looks like quite the heinous, drone murderers. But you see the comedy in it because you see the beings within it awaken to the bullshit contained within it. And, of course, at the end of the movie, the right thing is done, and the rapist is taken out with a missile. It's beautiful. Based on true events. Funny that. But anyway, what I'm talking about is, you have to play guns and soldiers with your mates? Oh, that's a nice costume you have on. That's not a real gun, though, is it? Oh, fuck off! You're not gonna. You're actually gonna shoot somebody. What kind of game is that? Doesn't sound to me like it's got a very happy ending. But whatever. You want to go play soldier boy, soldier girl? Away you go. But I'm not going to partake in that. And I'm just going to call you a murderer that uses a clown suit as an excuse to do your killing. Because you know better, don't you? Of course you do. And you can apply that to anyone. Oh, you're off to play the Queen again, are you? That's... you think people are going to follow you? Oh, dear. Oh, dear. And you're going to, what? Feed off them. Oh, that's not very nice. Oh, that's right, because you're not very nice at all. You're dead. This is how they bring the bones in the ground back to life, kids. Yeah. Funny how cremation is the chosen way of getting rid of the bones now, isn't it? Yeah, not a lot of bones going in the ground. Because I'll tell you, eventually, you have enough dead meat sticks, all that's going to be here is graveyards. Little hard. Oh, have you ever seen anybody build a house in a graveyard? Well, maybe a little mausoleum. Not much of a kitchen in those, though, is there? Lots of places to sleep, though, as long as you don't mind crawling beside some fucking rack of bones. But the world eventually fills with dead bones, right? Nowhere to live. It's all taken up by the dead. Wormwood. The dead wormwood. We just expose it here. Yeah, it was about 4 o'clock this morning. I was in. I get into these beautiful little, laugh myself silly with the truth moments. Oh yeah. Well, you have to invade again, Alexander. Okay, whatever. You can take all your mates with you. Yeah. They're gonna die though, right? Yeah. You okay with that? All right, whatever. So I think my next track down is going to be, since I looked down at Alexander the Great, I'm going to have to follow up with Catherine the Great to see the spiritual reality of that, right? Flip it over. Oh, yeah. When you see the comedy of this place, there is and I will caution you, there is an arrogance that comes with it. There is. It's very easy to be vengeful when you have the power of it. That's the lure that you put aside. Example, Jane Doe-755, the only legal name on this planet that anyone who is walking in truth can use as a bar card. Fine, you want to play legal name game? Well, here's one that was granted to humanity. I picked it up one day there. I went up to Mount Sinai to get the tablets and then brought them back. Right? That's a modus operandi of creation of divine feminine. You might call it Moses. Of course, the silly people at Mount Sinai Hospital, well, they have a whole different idea of what Moses is in the Abrahamic Jewish sense of things. However, Jew man, well, Jewish? No, I'm not you-ish. I am you. I am intent. Pure. No ish about it. I have no ish yous. Man sheeps? No. I'll leave that to Gus and Angus out in the Highlands fucking the sheep's ass all day long. Not interested. Jane Doe-755 is literally in its most literal form, the only honorable citizen of the city of London that humanity has, quote, permission, unquote, not that we need it, but anyway, thanks for giving it over. Nice gift there, Crown. One ring to rule them all. And what Jane Doe-755 says is this: fine, I'll play legal game with you, but I won't. I'll show you why the vengeance has to be removed. What that gives you is the power to step into a courtroom if you were to. This is not telling you you're going to. This is exactly what you don't do. You need to see the concept of it and leave it there. This is not a physical thing. It's spiritual. What you have there is an entity that both the prosecutor and defender and the judge must protect at all costs, being an honorable citizen of the City of London that they are sworn to protect. This is their Achilles heel. This is their catch-22. It is a game they will not play. That's why the motion idea that came out last year was simply to throw it in there saying, yeah, I could take you down, but I won't. Because all I needed you to know was that you were already taken down as a result of this. So, in the most literal sense, do you think I have the, quote, legal knowledge wherewithal, unquote, to take Jane Doe-755 into a courtroom to, get the house back and all the rest of this stuff? Yes, absolutely. If legal names were instantly made legal and all humanity given permission to use one as per their club membership, bar membership, it would be in that instant that the entire system would collapse. Well, if you could imagine myself and a few others as lawyers. There's not one lawyer, judge, cop, or anybody in the fucking legal sense of this world, I don't care how long they've studied it and whatever else, there's not one that I can't put in the fucking garbage can. Anyone want to challenge me on that? I know a few others that can do that too. You become in this moment the most perfect, the most absolute, the most defiant and absolute killer lawyer in their reality. And they certainly don't want you in there because they only practice law where I know it. Golden rule. I seek no vengeance. It is merely enough that I know that the vengeance that they have sought against me, they have sought against themselves, and I simply step back from it and let creation step in, and I get on with my day, getting the word out to more and more that see this, and it allows them to do the same really neat trick. So there's no arrogance involved. Yeah, I could be arrogant and go, yeah, I can take them on, and, you know, I could take someone like Dean Clifford and spin him inside out and backwards, spin him up my arse end, legally. I could fucking own him in a second. I can own anyone on this planet legally in a second or two. Depends how fast I can say legal name fraud. Or it's illegal to use a legal name. That's probably within a second or two. Now, it might take a little longer to explain it to these fucking monkeys, these parrots, these policy doers. Well, policy, you know, policy, the parrot, want a cracker? Well, you are fucking crackers. Policy, do, D-U-E. Just depends on what spirit seed lie of spiritual creation you lie in. The policy, police, police, yeah. Policy, do. Play with the polys, poly pockets. They got all sorts of little pockets, don't these polys? Paul, Saul, on and on and on. Oh, here we go. We got someone coming in. Sorry about that. Just get off on these little tangents, and I have some fun. Michael.
Yeah, it's like Polly Wally Doodle all day.
Yankee Doodle fucking dandy. Look at you dancing. Thank you.
Yeah. Beautiful. Yeah.
It gets funnier, you know.
Fuck yeah. I can't stop laughing.
Yeah, you do understand you're a legal expert now. You know it's illegal to use a legal name, right? Yeah.
Oh, fuck yeah.
That makes you a legal expert. They're all still practicing law.
Shit.
Uh-huh. Feces. Indeed it is. Yeah. Yeah, they're all full of shit. Well, it's no wonder they're all walking around in the feces. You know, Admiralty fees and C's, Admiralty C's. Oh, yeah. Funny that. Shows up in the phonics nicely, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
I love the soul laugh. I can hear it in you. Thank you. You just made my night.
I just want to say for everybody out there listening, what you were saying earlier, it's key to breathe when you find out. I mean, I remember I've been listening to you for over several years now. Way back when that Tony shit guy was on here or whatever.
Yeah. Tony Zipper. Yeah.
Yeah. but that's the key. It's key. I remember the first time when it hit me and all that. I wasn't breathing very well at the time. I literally got sick to my stomach. But yeah, just breathe. It's all good.
Now there is truth upon truth. Did you guys feel that just pouring out? Yeah, breathe. Some good advice. Yeah, how many times have I got to tell you, man, I had my breath taken away from me quite a few times. Whoa, fuck, I got nothing. Oh, wow. Oh, yeah, I found myself on the street corner going, what the fuck? What the fuck? What the fuck a lot, okay?
Yeah, for sure. Well, yeah, it's been like about a year ago for me that I took, there's a couple of times you come out and said, can you do it? Can you just get up and walk the fuck out? And it's been exactly 1 year today that I did. I got up and I walked the fuck out. And I haven't turned back. And it's been fucking great since then.
So, you didn't get killed and you were able to survive okay, right? Yeah?
Oh yeah, I'm doing great.
Oh, okay, just making sure that, that we're not full of shit here. No, it's
no,
true. Lock up the fucking door.
It's all truth. There's no shit here.
Yeah. Yeah, here's an example of where I am right now, right? I'm able to do everything I'm able to do here. But just say I walk out the front door right fucking now. Do you think I'd have a problem?
No, and I did.
Yeah, me either.
I walked right the fuck out the front door. Well, I grabbed my dog and threw her in the truck and threw some shit in the back end, and I hit the road. It's been good ever since.
Yeah, fucking truther.
And I know they say you leave it all behind, you lose it. I mean, I was working for a Fortune 500 company, and I had the big house, I had everything. Fuck it, I don't need this shit. I just got up and left.
Yeah, left and laughed. Funny how it's only one vowel away.
Yeah, and I'm still laughing.
Yeah, that's where you take the left, the E, yeah, and make it the light, the E-A, E-A, yan, yin, yan, yin. Now you've taken your own creation back. It really is that simple.
It really is.
That's why it's so hard to believe. Yeah, it takes a bit, doesn't it? Yeah, I know. Fuck. Yeah, you too, huh?
Yeah.
Okay, here's the visual for you. Imagine you're a little kitty sitting. Imagine, look at me 14 days into solitary, not knowing what the fuck to do. Think I might have had issues breathing?
Oh, yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. But that's what I will tell you that was what I call intense meditation training 101. 28 days solitary. I had I had private meditation. No one around to bother me. I had time to sort it out for myself. So I did. Then I came out, and I remember the Friday night, Hollywood got a hold of me, and he'd Mark Hollywood out west. And we talked for about an hour and a half, and Mark's just kind of, he's floating out there doing his thing, man. Just, playing guitar and just doing his, thank you, Mark, thank you. He'd played in a few different things, but I talked to Mark that Friday night, and he was the first one to get a hold of me, and I ended up going on the air on the Monday morning with Sando Bonacci to discuss the whole thing. That interview is still out there, and if you want to get an example of where I was at, listen to that show. And I'll tell you there was only one thing about that show that I wanted to get across, and the only thing I wanted to get across was just keep me in the fight. But it was me that had to be kept in the fight. So if you want to get a good example after what it sounds like after 28 days, there was one interview. It would be April, March 31st, April 2nd, 2012. Being around that, okay? Because the 30th was when it ended, I was in from the 2nd to the 30th, the 28 days in between the 1st and the 31st of March. It was this precise. Oh, yeah, I know my cycle of the 1331, 1331. The Christ mind and in the mirror of itself. That's a bigger concept. I'm not even going to get into that. But I know what it is. One loony cycle, 28 days, in the loony bin, in between the 1st and the 31st. So the 31st would have been the Saturday, 1st on the Sunday, and, the last Friday in March, and the first Monday in April. So the first Monday in April, I was on in the morning with him. I'm not sure what time the show was at, but I think it was 10 a.m. in the morning. But yeah, if it's still out there, I'm sure it is. Excuse me. If you want to hear Kate in her most destroyed state, there it is. Don't mind me being shy about me, eh?
Oh, no.
Because what I need you to see is me in the mirror of me. And there it is. There's a good example of it. I mean, that was some fucking intense. I mean, hey, listen, I got out and, Sue had already